So it's August 6th, and that's the day we celebrate the toughest tractor to ever wear red paint, the 806. By the way, if you want a little more detail on this, check out an article I wrote at the link in the video description. All right, so it's the early 60s. IH is dealing with the fallout from the 560 fiasco and the failing rear ends, and basically it's the biggest recall they've ever issued. Some estimates push upwards of spending $19 million, which is close to $200 million today, to put that whole thing to bed. So they're kind of bleeding, their backs are against the wall, and quite frankly, they're kind of salty about the whole thing. They know the 560 was their own stupid fault, and they didn't test it enough. And they're tired of hearing about it and dealing with it. So, with a chip on their shoulder and a point to prove, it was time to swing for the fences, and that's exactly what they did. The 806 was one of the first all-new designs from Harvester in close to 30 years. And when he addressed the engineers, IH's new CEO, Harry Bircher, made it real clear that they'd better be built for business. And the engineers listened. They beat the ever-loving snot out of those tractors to the tune of like 75,000 hours before they actually launched the product. One of the keys to the success was the all-new D361 engine, which is probably one of the most bulletproof IH motors ever built. It was a dry sleeve, direct injection, 7-main bearing affair, and it's not at all uncommon even to see them today running for 15 and 20,000 hours without, ever dropping the pan or taking the head off. And when you pair that with a stout driveline, you can make a fairly convincing argument for that whole toughest tractor ever built thing. And you 400 series guys can argue all you want, but those 361s are as tough as nails. Anyway, between 63 and 67, Harvester rolls about 43,000 of them out the door, and they set annual sales records in every one of those years. And while they didn't outsell the 4020, the 806 did help to define the future of mechanized agriculture. And when they did come out in 63, marketing ran with the concept of that whole toughest tractor ever built thing, and I think that claim kind of holds up over time. I honestly believe there were multiple times when IH could have gone south real quick, and this was one of them. Had the 806 flopped, I think IH probably would have either imploded or been taken over by the end of the decade. So, let's hear from my 806 peeps. Where you at? Sound off in the comments right down there. Take care.